And this was, the guy wasn't even famous. He's never been famous, but guy was nobody knew who he was. He went to a party for the Super Bowl. The year I got to California, somebody told me like 2 weeks later, I gotta stay away from this retard. People were in the room. The guy who invited him was real. He went over there.
I know who he's saying.
And he popped that fucking tape in during the fucking Super Bowl. And somebody yelled, "Take it off." I mean, it's not good.
No, I don't know the story specifically. And once we're off camera, I'm gonna.
Okay, so
I
when I heard
a prize if I guess it right.
When I heard that story,
Thanks,
you could see how that story stayed with me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I always thought about what would possess a comic to go to a Super Bowl party and throw his VHS tape in at halftime and force people to watch it. If I had the best set of my life, I still couldn't take that tape and make you put it on at the Super Bowl.
You wouldn't even put it on YouTube.
No, I wouldn't put it anywhere.
But that's a character trait, and we see them in this industry, right? That's not just that. That's somebody that openly asks for things that they're not entitled to. That's like, there's a whole element here. Like even me wanting to do this podcast, I didn't ask directly. You know, maybe somebody said something to Joey or it. I have always, I wouldn't have the balls. Like I couldn't do that. I don't know if it's like the way we are, like that New York. I think he's an Italian, but he's not that New York, New Jersey Italian. Like no, you don't. Like you do hard work. You do good, and then things come to you. Like that's a different level of ego. That's entitlement. And that we see it with comics or people who want to be comics but like I've asked one person for help the whole time, like, and it was like pandemic, and I just was in like a rut, and it was Rich Voss. He's the only person I ever reached out to and said, I worded it in a way that was like almost like I wasn't worthy of and he's like, "What are you talking about? Of course you're gonna deliver. I'm gonna recommend you somewhere, and you're gonna do good. You're gonna do great." And then, but I was like, I've never asked before, and. So when I hear these things or these people asking for these opportunities, you go, I'm never going to make it in this industry because I'm never going to have that. I'm going to take the longest road possible to get there because I'm never going to come from that. You don't come from that.
No, but there's two sides to that, and I got to be honest with you. Number one, something they told you in an Italian house and a Cuban house, and they told you you're in church on every Sunday when you went with your family is, if you ask, you will receive.
Yes.
So let's. I understand where you're coming from because I got the same problem. I can never just ask somebody. I feel a lot better if they contact me, and then they'll, a conversation will come up. Like somebody asked me if I ever did 2 years ago if I did that thing that they were doing that summer, and I go, no, I never did it. I wanted to, and somebody called and asked, but we never really put it together. Listen.
You're right.
I had a problem my first 10 years of comedy, maybe 15 years of comedy. Nobody knew I did comedy. Because it was introduced to me. Like when I started going on the road, I swear to God, I remember going on the road as an MC and the club owner going, Saturday and Friday, you have to go to the mall and give away tickets. And I quit. Right. I'm not going, and guys, I'm outspoken. I like having a good time. I could go up to a woman and go, listen, I got an 8-ball of Coke. Why don't we go back to your house and suck your pussy? Like, I'm one of those creepy motherfuckers.
But not do you want to come to a comedy show.
But I cannot
I know.
come up to
I couldn't bark either.
And go, hi. What are you ladies doing tonight?
Yeah, no.
Why don't you want to come to a badass comedy show? And they're like, I don't know. I can't do that.
I know.
So, because of that, I suffered. Your career suffers if you're not that type of person. But then something came that took the place of my balls, social media.
Right.
So now those
platform.
are my balls. Now those are where I got my balls from. It's weird that, and I'm unashamed to say this. I didn't want to quit cocaine because I thought it would take away from my comedy.
That's such a common problem.
It's like people say I didn't want to lose weight because then I wouldn't get hired for roles. This is all a stupid thing that you have in your mind. When I got off cocaine, my sex life went down the tube. In more ways than one, because that was my courage. Even with my wife. that was my courage. That's how I went out at night. I'll ask that chick if she wants to suck dick. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. I could ask anybody anything. Mm-hmm. When I had a couple lines in me or a cocktail, you know, when are you going to put me on that stage? Soon. I remember saying that to Danny Murr one time at the Tempe Improv. We had just done a line of coke. I'd snorted coke, and Danny walked in the room. I didn't snort coke with him. And I remember we were talking, and I go, what do I have to do to go in your room? I'm the funniest feature up here. And he's like, I'll contact you. Obviously, I still remember that story because it irked me for the rest of my life because that's the shit I could do when I was coked up.
Right.
But I couldn't do it when I was sober. But then I realized once social media came that you have to let people know. So I did it through social media, telling people, like I was never going to go out and hang out a flyer.
Right. No, I know.
I can't pass out a flyer, come to the show.
No,
hey,
I know.
I'm not going to pass flyers out in the cars. You know, I'm not going to do those
That's
things.
what you do. You retweet my things. That's like
Passing out flyers. So it's that helped me.
Yeah, I didn't even look at it. I didn't even make that comparison as to what that is.
It's balls.
But and to your point, and not against what I said, but our mutual friend Kathy, when I was telling her, like when I was in a run, she's like, "Well, ask them. I'll ask this person for you." I'm like, "No, don't ask anybody anything." And she's like, she goes, "I don't want to." She's very blunt. She's like, "I don't want to say this to insult you, but you're having a very ignorant neighborhood mentality right now." And I was like, What do you mean? And she was like, "That, get out of that. Like in this industry, people ask for things. Like you gotta ask, speak up. You know, and the same with you. Like
Ask.
you gotta get fed, right?" And I'm like, when she said it, I was like, because I think I'm not that, right? I'm not this ignorant neighborhood girl, but that was the mentality that she was kind of saying that I had.
You have to promote yourself, and some people it comes to very easily. You know, Dane Cook was very good at it on Facebook. On MySpace. He was very good at it, but all those things I can never do. So I can never put a tape in at a fucking Super Bowl. But I thought I was in bad shape, and then one night I got home early from the store, and Johnny Depp was on Letterman. This has to be maybe 2010, maybe 2009, around there, because I felt better after, and they were talking about the Pirates of the Caribbean. And he goes, so when you did the Pirates, how the dailies looking? And he goes, I don't know. And he goes, what do you mean? You're the star of the show, and you don't know what the dailies look like. And Johnny Depp goes, I don't look at those. I don't like looking at myself on video. And he goes, you're the one of the most handsome men in the world. Johnny Depp. And Johnny Depp went into the same spiel that I tell people. I mean, he just went into it. I do not watch myself. I can't listen to myself. If I'm walking in a room and I hear my voice, I fucking cringe. He was just telling my story, and I'm like, oh my God, okay, I'm not retarded. I'm not, there's not something, mentally off of me. This is Johnny Depp. He looks like that. He looks like that, okay? I look like this, but he looks like that. And he don't want to be seen, or he don't want to see himself. So it all came full circle. I understood it. So you have to work with it. I knew it just wasn't me. You know what I mean? The Longest Yard, the crew screening, I stayed at. The premiere, I did not stay at. When I went to Grudge Match with my buddies, I got up and left. I got up and went outside. They stayed and watched Grudge Match. I'll do it a couple minutes, but once I start popping up in the screen, I got to get out of there. That's uncomfortable for a guy like me.
Does it make you feel like a fake?
Yes, it makes me feel I don't want to be that guy. Look, I'm up next.
Right.
I'm up.
I mean, like
No.
a movie. Does a movie feel like it's fake? Because
You want me to tell you what it feels like? It feels like they made a movie and put my fucking image in there. Because I'm looking at it going, what am I doing in that fucking movie?
That's like imposter syndrome.
Yes,
that,
what am I doing in that fucking thing? I'm a fucking felon. I grew up in Jersey. We don't make movies.
You do, but you do.
I do.
Right.
But in my mind,
I know.
it will not
It's imposter
let
syndrome.
me stand up sets. Come on. Come on.
It's hard because the only way to really learn what you're doing and is to listen and to watch. But in the same part, I'm like, I don't want to see because I don't want to overthink it the next time I get on stage, not to do this or not to do that. But it's like,
I will tell you what I will do,
catch-22.
though. I will tell you what I will do. I will take a short set of mine, like a YouTube set of mine, and watch it and keep it very low. And I know what I'm saying, but I want to watch my body movements. because I know if I add a body movement to this joke, it'll push the joke through. You know, that I'll do. But again, did you hear what I said? Short, set, 6, 7 minutes, 10 minutes. I could tolerate that. If one of my girls come downstairs, that thing gets taken off the computer faster than anything. The only thing I will watch to learn from, because I think it's the only really spectacular job I've ever done, is Ari Shafir's Storyteller Show. The Sister Hyacinth, I really like that one. That was something that I sat there with a pen from the end to the beginning and worked on very hard, and that's why it came out that good. I never worked that hard on my stand-up, but I enjoyed the story concept of doing it because I just like it. But that's the only time I can watch myself.
Wow.
That shit of shooting the special and coming home every night and listening to your sets from the Flappers and Ha-Ha, that shit almost killed me. So by the time I got to the special, I was so beat up from the shitty material, I didn't know where I was coming from. That's why I'm not a special comic.
Right.
I don't like shooting specials. It doesn't work. Everybody has a different knock. My knock is I don't do a good special, and I know it going in. I don't ever want to do it again. I like going up there and just killing with no...
But there are, and I won't mention them, but there are comics I love that I think are great that I watch the special. I'm like, oh, people should just see them live.
That's why I want to record him when he's not aware of it.
That's a great idea. I mean, obviously just for him. No, I because that's the other thing. Like, I know there's going to be a camera on me Saturday, but...
You got to pretend there's not.
Right. But it's a different level.
How long have you been doing comedy for now?
Full time, like 10 years.
Okay.
And then before that, I don't count those 3 or 4 years of getting up and working, writing my first few bits.
So you count
like
that
that
from the time you got $1. Mm-hmm. Okay, that seems fair. So you're ready. 10 years, you're a veteran. 10 years of comedy, you really know what's going on. You really know what's going on.
I feel like I'm fine. I really found
You're a purple
my
belt in
voice.
jiu-jitsu. You know what's going on. You get yourself out of a situation. It's just finding more material, and now you're on the upswing of building a following, momentum, getting a movie or a TV show to complement the credits. It's such a fucking... And again, even like young comics, I couldn't wait to get a credit. When people bring me up and they come to me and they go, what do you want me to say? I go, nothing. You worked so hard for those credits. For anybody who knows, you can't wait to have a credit. Like, can't wait. Like, I can use this as a credit? Yeah. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. And then you have like 3 of them, and you're like, oh, shit.
Right.
Oh, shit. And then one day you're like, don't say nothing. I just want to...
Being on podcasts is a credit.
Yeah.
I'm using I was just appeared on Uncle Joey's joint for like the next year. No. No. You're right. It is.
There's so many... Comedy is such a great journey for people. And the journey it really starts at the 10-year mark. But guess what? It gets better at the 20-year mark. And people see that. And it's like you telling me if I join the army, I have to stay for 20 years. When you're 18, that seems like a fucking eternity. But it's really not, guys. If you're at home right now listening to this, it's not. We look at time like, I still remember... I almost blew my life because my friends could get me union jobs, whether it was longshoreman jobs, brick mason's job. But when they tell me it was a 4-year apprenticeship, I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'll do a 4-week apprenticeship, and I want to get paid like all these motherfuckers on here because you don't see that kind of time in your life. But once you're there and you're like, I've been doing this shit for 10 years. 10 years is the sweet spot in comedy.
And that's like when I was watching the show and I was getting upset watching Last Comic Standing. I go, well, I should have started. I should have done it then and I should have done it now. And then I'm like, you know what, Tara? 10 years from now, you're going to say, I wish I started then. And I'm going to go, oh my God, why didn't, I said, so just start. It's you just have to start. It sounds so cliche and corny, but it's like, you just have to start.
Well, that's why when people come to me and they go, hey man, listen, there's 2 things everybody hates to hear. Are you going to join jiu-jitsu? No, let me get in shape to come in there. You're never going to get in shape. It's like people trying to tell me I'm not going to join the gym till I get in shape.
Right.
And with stand-up, when people call me, if you paid me $500 and said, Joey, I want you to give me an hour tutoring, I go, how about I give you $475 back and give me I'll take $25 for the best advice I could give you. Don't even worry about your material the first 2 or 3 times on stage. Don't even worry about it. Go up there and tell me a story about your cat. I'd rather you do that than be up there clunky. I just want you to get over the mechanics of it. I focused a lot on my words, and it almost cost me my career because I kept saying, I'm not going to go up until I write.
Right.
Well, you're not going to fucking write.
Right.
You've never written before. What makes you think you're going to become fucking Lenny Bruce now? Get up there. I tell people all the time, just go up there.